Hey everyone, Bridget here from Roadside Dental Marketing. I have Ian here from Rectangle Health. So happy to be here. I wanted to introduce Ian as Rectangle Health. Ian helps dental providers and admin teams with payment solutions to improve patient engagement in all three phases of treatment. So we're talking about pre-care, point of service. After they've left the office, they have secure tools to help patients make payments after there's a balance due, before there's a balance due, whenever. So I am so excited to have Ian. He is one of my favorite people in the dental industry. Don't tell anyone else I said that, okay? And he's got an amazing product. I've actually used it in the past. So we're so excited to have you. Welcome, welcome. So let me first find out from you, how was Rectangle Health born?
First of all, Bridget, thank you so much for inviting me and Rectangle Health to join Roadside today for this Facebook Live interview. We're super excited to share all the new things that we've been doing and things that we've been doing for years for the dental industry. So thanks, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Rectangle Health was started as like you said, we did payment processing. And like any good company is born, we developed our program and processing from finding solutions for the doctors that we were meeting with. The doctors that we were meeting with years ago were talking about taking payments, but also other ways, or the back end of things, having to bill patients and, the troubles that they were having to send out statements and follow up. So within the credit card solutions we were providing, we developed a solution that allowed practices, kind of a rudimentary solution that allowed practices to offer to their patients the ability to keep their card on file to guarantee their insurance balance, to set up monthly payment plans on their existing card, where the practice wasn't waiting for the patient to take their own initiative to, call in that transaction or put a check in the mail. So we're really focused on a solution in the payment aspect to help reduce billing and improve, the efficiencies and workflow of the practice.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I think now more than ever, bills just go in the trash. So I get an email, a text message saying that both of those, saying that my payment is due. So I've already probably paid it. And then I get a bill in the mail if I haven't opted out of paper statements, and it just goes straight in the trash. I don't even open it. So that's what we need more of. So, and I think that leads us into the changes that you've seen in 2020. So specifically related to the dental industry and what you do, what is the biggest change for this year?
Oh, well, obviously COVID. COVID has posed significant challenges with our offices, with patients, with, a lot of things. And one of those challenges is, the fact that, people have a little bit of fear and concern with making physical exchanges with the practice and that interaction. And a lot of offices are looking for technological solutions to help minimize those contacts. And contactless payments has been something that's been a huge demand for, this past year. Contactless in having the ability to take payments in the office with a device that can take a tap pay or your Apple Pay, your virtual wallets. But not just that, contactless. We are sort of revolutionizing the industry and giving the practice a solution in our technology and something called Practice Management Bridge. And Practice Management Bridge is a payment platform and program that helps practices to process payments, posting them to their practice management software, but it has several tools that practices are able to utilize to collect after the fact, with something called Balance Collect, where patients can go on your website, simply click and pay online. You get a live authorization in the office. So if there's any concern about them handing their card over the counter when they're coming into the office, you can direct them to their website.
Yeah.
But the revolutionary option and feature that we have introduced during this time is called
drum roll.
Patient Express is what I was just mentioning. Patient Express is allowing offices to communicate and engage with a patient before they come in the office. It allows them to send a pre-registration via text, email, or direct them to your website. And within that process, they can provide for you all of their personal information, their medical history, insurance information. So you have something, you have information to check them in. But to complete that process, they can then provide their preferred method of payment. And that allows them to have, or the practice to have freedom to have the conversation about treatment when they're coming in the door, talk about, the process of that, and really minimize the conversation necessarily about, taking that payment. But you're in a position where you can talk about the financial aspect and give the patient a landscape of what they can expect, during the treatment, what their responsibility is, and then making a convenient solution for them thereafter with having that card on file. So if there's a balance post adjudication, you have the ability to charge them in an easy and safe way.
So you could technically do all the paperwork online. I mean, you can do all the paperwork online. And then you could even, if an office is doing like a virtual consultation, you could, how could they collect payment for that? Let's see.
Great question. There's a lot of that happening right now, obviously, with COVID, these virtual consultations.
And not just in dentistry, in all medical fields.
So what we're able to do is within Patient Express, the office staff member, when they field that call or they're scheduling that appointment with that patient, they're just entering basic patient information, their name, date of birth, email address, cell phone number. And once they enter that basic information, they can then send the invitation for the patient to complete an electronic version of their registration. So they can send that via email or text message. Patient gets a nice message from the office saying register here. You click on the link and they fill everything in electronically. Once they complete that information, it goes back to the practice on what looks like a dashboard. And that dashboard will list that the patient has registered, they provided a card on file. So when they're coming in for their appointment, they're coming in, it's a very seamless, easy, efficient check-in. You could take your copay or whatever, if there's a deductible amount due at that time, treat the patient when they're walking out or checking out of the practice. There's not a whole lot of conversation going on about payment. It's about when your next appointment and the treatment that you're going to continue or what you can expect next. And
I mean, they could even, in some offices where you collect payment before, because we talked about this, Angela and I talked about this 2 weeks ago. We did a Facebook Live on revenue cycle management. So this is the perfect topic to piggyback on that when we're talking about when to collect. And I'm a big fan of collecting either their copay or their deductible prior to them even setting foot in the office. I mean, they know they're going to have to pay that. Hopefully at that point, you've had a solid financial conversation with the patient to where you're going to be collecting XYZ. And then you could literally just send it to them in their car before they walk in the building. That's amazing. I think everybody should be doing that. And it takes me back to the days where I worked in an office and there would be one terminal and it would be like on the other side, like somebody else's seat. And if you weren't sitting in that chair, you have to carry the patient's card over to that other chair, plug it in, and and get the receipts and do all that stuff. And I mean, what if you run out of paper? Mid that, you got to put the paper back in, and it was just such a pain. So this is an exciting product.
So you're talking about efficiency, right, Bridget? So you're talking about giving your practice the ability to operate in a more efficient manner. But going back to what you said about patients handing you a card, taking that card, walking over to another location with their card, how comfortable are people with doing that, right? Some people are, where are you going with my card?
Right.
So what we are providing is a solution that if they're taking payments in the office, you have a patient-facing device or a consumer-facing device like we're all used to at all the retail stores that we visit every single day. That patient is able to use their phone, their tap, their credit card to process the transaction where there's no exchange there. So you're also limiting, risk of exchanging germs. And then that payment is simultaneously posting right into that practice software and any software. We designed our solution so that it can post into any practice management software.
Which
So it
also,
improves the efficiency there as well.
yeah, and that helps with the reconciling at the end of the day too, because how many times you have to match up the transactions to the actual physical receipts you have in your hand, and then you gotta, if it doesn't match, those numbers don't match, you gotta go back and like sift through the receipts and make sure. So I like how that integration helps, eliminate that error. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because also those receipts that you were mentioning, and that slip, which is the settlement slip that you're matching up with your day sheet, that's paper. And you were talking about paper earlier. This is a way that you can eliminate a lot of the paper that you're using. Paper from receipts, because the receipts are electronic, they can be emailed to patients. You can print a copy if you'd like. But the practice receipts that are hosted in the practice are electronically stored in our systems, okay?
mm-hmm.
Paper as well. Part of paper, a massive usage of paper in an office is billing. Sending paper statements, or sending out a receipt after you've processed something that was maybe, predated. So our solution, having a card on file, it eliminates the need to have to send out a paper statement, stamps, envelopes. Having the solution for patients to be able to pay online can eliminate that as well. But, one of the best ways to engage today with patients is via text message. So we're finding that text message is key to communicating. And our solution will allow you to send your statement, so to speak, to the patient electronically via text message.
That's amazing. I love it. So I don't know if you're the only company that does that, but what would make someone choose Rectangle Health over another credit card processing company?
That's a great question. And you did say you don't know if there is another company or competitor that offers these solutions that I'm mentioning. And yes, they do. The industry and technology has advanced so much that there are companies out there that offer different types of solutions. But you're looking at, a lot of times offices are using multiple solutions for what I'm proposing today, and that is, you have one company that's doing patient engagement and text to pay. You have one company that is doing your card on file and storing cards for you. You have another company that is processing your payments in office. So you have three different systems and solutions, three different statements, three different fee structures, three different compliances to comply with, where we can consolidate all of that into one solution. One consolidated solution and one interface. So where that's beneficial is not just the convenience of having everything being reported in one place, but you have, one place to go for service, for questions, for support. And I really want to talk a little bit about support here. Rectangle Health has been providing payment solutions for healthcare offices and healthcare providers, dental offices for 27 years. That's all we know. That's all we do. Everyone that I work with and for, and my teammates we know medicine, we know healthcare, and we know what it takes to, to take a payment, to bill a patient, and to maintain that relationship thereafter. So you have, people who specialize in what you do. So you have a concierge service there that certainly helps.
I didn't realize you've been around so long. That's incredible.
You sure have, yeah.
So if an office wanted to explore this more, how can you help them?
Well, great question as well. If an office would like to explore this, we have representatives, practice management consultants all over the country, and in every city, every territory that's out there. So, there's a couple different ways that you can reach us and you can find out more information. One being our website at www.rectanglehealth.com. There's plenty of information on there that you can review. You can learn a little bit more about what we're doing, what we offer, and there's ways to contact representatives on our site there. That you can reach out to us directly. We provide demos. We'll schedule a 10 or 15 minute demo where you can contact me directly. I'd love to present and do a presentation for anyone who's interested in 10 or 15 minutes of their time. I promise I'll make it worth their while, where you can reach me direct at 1-800-337-3630. My direct extension is 2073. You can email me at ibrown@rectanglehealth.com, or in the comments, I believe, we're going to have a link to a landing page to make it so much easier, where you can simply click, fill out a form, and I'll receive the information, and I'll look forward to coordinating and scheduling a demo with you.
Perfect. We will make sure that that is in the comments. And I think that was all that we had for today. Thank you so much, Ian Brown. We really appreciate it. I can't wait to talk to you again. And then if anyone needs to get a hold of him, you know how now. Thank you for joining us, and we'll have other events coming up soon. So keep an eye out on Roadside's page. Follow Ian on LinkedIn, wherever you can find him. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Roadside. Rectangle Health is very grateful for this opportunity. Please reach me at ibrown@rectanglehealth.com, or reach me on the landing page in the comments. We look forward to meeting you and sharing all we have to offer in the industry.
Awesome. Take care, everyone.